Hello, hello. I'm glad that you all have been able to join us today about our psychology programs info session with Golden Gate University. It's nice to see everybody come in. We want to be able to answer your questions. We'll provide a presentation of all the information. I am Joey. I am an enrollment advisor with Golden Gate University. We have Tom Wooldridge here, which is the program director for the programs in psychology. Tom, would you like to say something?
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. So glad to see you all here today. I'm really looking forward to speaking with all of you. Joey's going to be driving things here for a little bit, but I will step in at various points and then definitely be available to answer any questions at the end. And also, I'll make sure to give you my contact information today so any of you can reach out to me who have leftover questions after the meeting today. All right, Joey, I'll give it back to you.
Very good. Anyway, so again, we're happy you joined us. GGU's been around for a long time. We started in 1901. We were one of the first universities to offer flexible and online programs tailored for the working adult. Um, which let me throw this in there. If you are concerned about schedules and working a lot of hours and thinking, oh, I can't possibly do this with my work schedule and all of the things I'm pulled different directions, we can make it work. So please don't think it's not something you can't do or can do. Our network of alumni is 70,000 and more of people that have attended GGU, got their degree, and went on to bright futures. The courses are taught by professionals who are the leaders in the Bay Area companies, and we will teach you theory and practice that you can apply in the real world. Tom, I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, so why Golden Gate? I've been here since 2011 or so for quite a while now, and so I feel I can speak to the university and what it's about, what it's like. As Joey said, we've been around for a long time. We're a private nonprofit university. We're WASC accredited. In the psych department, we really emphasize small classes and personalized instruction. So you'd never be in a class above 30, but more classes will be, 15, 20, somewhere in that range. Some, like say your practicum seminar, would be capped at 10. So, even 10 or less. So we really emphasize giving you kind of hands-on contact with each other and with your instructors. Our instructors are very much people that are practicing in the profession. So, if you're in the counseling psychology program, you'll be taught by people who are actually out in the field doing that work. And the same for the IO psych degree. So, really practitioners who also teach because they want to. The average student age is around 30, although, that can be misleading because there's really quite a range. Some of our students come to us straight out of college, but we also have students that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even beyond. So we have a very diverse environment in terms of gender, age, ethnic group. We really, kind of prioritize acknowledging difference and bringing it into learning and into conversation so that it's constructive and productive. Courses are offered year-round on a trimester schedule, 15 weeks each trimester, and you can take classes in multiple modalities. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So let's start by talking about the counseling psych degree. So there are two graduate degrees that I want to talk to you about today, the counseling psychology degree and the industrial organizational psychology degree. So the counseling psychology degree is designed to provide you with an education that prepares you for licensure as an MFT or a PCC. MFT is marriage and family therapy. PCC is professional clinical counselor. Our degree is designed to meet the requirements of both those licenses in the state of California. Now, because licensure happens at the state level, that means that each state issues its own licenses. And because we're designed around the California requirements, that means that we do meet the licensure requirements of many, many other states. If you're planning to get licensed outside of California, my recommendation would be just reach out to me by email, and I can educate you about how to find out what the state that you're thinking about, what their requirements are, and how they match up with the California requirements. We can help you walk through that process. Unfortunately, master's degrees, MAs, PsyDs, PhDs, MDs, psychiatrists, all the mental health degrees, they're in a state licensure system. So the counseling psych degree is 60 units, and it's offered in 3 different formats. So I want to be real clear about this. You don't have to choose a format. You can mix and match throughout your degree as you see fit. And the 3 different formats are online via Zoom. So in other words, you have 15 class meetings, you show up in your class happens by Zoom with the other students and with the instructor. And then the second format is online asynchronous. And what that means is that there's no live meetings. So lectures are recorded, things happen via discussion groups, still 15 weeks, but no live meetings. And then there's the hybrid format. And in the counseling psych degree, the hybrid format means 13 meetings by Zoom and then 2 meetings in person during campus weeks. And again, you don't have to commit to a format. You could take one class hybrid and one live conference and one asynchronous or any other combination. It's really designed with a lot of flexibility in mind, right? Depending on how many courses you take per term, you could complete the degree in 2.5 years. Some people even less. We've had people complete it in a year and a half, but you're really pushing it if you do that. 3 courses per term is considered full-time enrollment. So that's the counseling psych degree. A couple other things I want to say. There is a personal psychotherapy requirement. So we ask you to get your own psychotherapy for 50 hours as part of this degree, because we really feel that if you're going to provide therapy, you need to have been in therapy. Now, there is a waiver for people if that presents a financial obstacle, but we will try to help you find low fee sources, use your insurance, et cetera, to make it accessible to you. You can get the psychotherapy anywhere you want to, not with us. We don't provide that. And then there is a practicum. So a practicum is like an internship that you do during your degree. It takes a year, and you're supposed to get 300 face-to-face hours of providing counseling under supervision as part of that practicum. We have a full-time internship coordinator on staff. We have relationships with hundreds of different sites around the country. We give you a lot of support as you move through that process of developing your CV, sending it out with cover letters, interviews, finding the right site for you. The hours that you gain in your practicum count towards the hours that are required for the MFT license. So, you may know that in California, the MFT license has a 3,000 hour requirement, and you'll graduate with about a third of that complete, which is great. That's more than is required. So you'll graduate kind of with a leg up, and then you get the remaining hours in your post-graduation internship. And of course, people always have questions about that whole process. We provide a lot of education and support along the way. Okay, next slide. So I think I already said a lot of this. I guess the thing I'd add is that counseling psych is really in demand right now. So if you look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you'll see that job demand is very, very high, higher than I've ever seen it in, a decade and a half in the field. So there's a lot of demand for people in this profession at the moment. So if you're thinking of moving into this profession or making a career switch, it's a really, really good time to do it. I mentioned the practicum. I mentioned the personal psychotherapy requirement. I think those are the 2 big ones. When you are admitted, you'd meet with your academic advisor. They help you kind of plot out your courses along the way, what you're going to take when. I'm always available. Students always have access to me, my cell phone, my email. Just call me, text me, shoot me an email. I'll get back to you the same day. I really try to have a very kind of high accessibility because you're moving into a vocation here, and you need people to kind of chart the path for you, and we'll definitely provide you with that support. Okay, next slide. So the IO Psych degree, I want to talk a little bit about. So the IO Psych degree is, if you don't know about IO Psych, I'd recommend checking out the Society for Industrial Organizational Psychology, SIOP, which is the professional organization for this discipline. So IO psychology takes the lenses of psychology and applies them to organizational life. So how do we think about organizational change, organizational behavior and development? How do we work with organizations, say as a consultant or as a coach, or in the role of providing conflict resolution? How do we use tests and measurements to assess an organization, where they're at, and to measure progress on different dimensions? This is IO Psych. It's a really exciting kind of fresh discipline that I think, is very, very interesting. And you really benefit from being part of the Ageno Business School in IO Psych, because what that means is that you've got your 27 core courses, but then you can bring in two electives from any other part of Ageno, whether it's the MBA, the human resources degree, the leadership degree, the data analytics degree, et cetera, et cetera. You can bring in the things to really customize the degree for you based on your interests. There is an optional internship as well. It is not required, but for some people, it is important for them to, get some experience in the field. And we provide a way for you to do that. We provide a way for you to do that with the internship requirement. This is obviously a much shorter degree. So the Master's in Counseling Psychology is 60 units, which is the minimum that a degree can be and still meet the licensure requirements. This is a 33-unit degree, so you can easily finish it in a year and a half or even a year. It's offered in two different formats, and I want to clarify that. So one of the formats is online asynchronous. So there are no, kind of live course meetings. Everything is happening in the kind of asynchronous format. And then the other is the hybrid format, where 13 meetings happen asynchronously, and then two of them happen in person in downtown San Francisco during campus weeks. Okay, next slide. So as I said, this is a business integrated curriculum. You can really take advantage of the business school. It's also a STEM degree that may matter for some of you for certain kinds of funding or different student status situations. It has a lot of real world applications. So our graduates, they go on to become coaches, consultants, to work in conflict resolution, to work in HR departments. There's a big emphasis on leadership. So, how do you move into positions of leadership and function with psychological insight in those contexts? I would really, again, recommend checking out the Society for Industrial Organizational Psychology. There are a lot of educational videos there about the discipline of IO Psych if it's of interest to you. Okay, next slide. Just a couple of things I want to highlight about the psych department. So we are a strategic partner with the Psychotherapy Action Network. And the Psychotherapy Action Network is an organization that advocates for relationship-based depth psychotherapy. So psychotherapy that really accounts for the whole person. And that's what we're trying to teach you. Not short-term, nothing wrong with short-term symptom-focused interventions, but we don't want that to be the only thing in your toolbox. We want you to really be able to understand the whole person. And again, we have a full-time traineeship coordinator on staff, and we help you find placements pretty much anywhere in the country, that we're authorized to operate. So, if you're near a town or a city, we should be able to find a traineeship for you.
So your requirements for the program would be applying for the program. We would need official transcripts from schools that you attended previously, and you can get those through Parchment or National Clearinghouse. We do need to see a bachelor's degree on your official transcripts from the school that you received your bachelor's with the date conferred. GPA requirement would be a 3.0. We also need a current resume and a one-page statement of purpose. Statement of purpose would be to, tell us why you want the program you're choosing when you can choose so many others. Why this one? Future goals with getting your degree. If the GPA is lower than a 3.0, then you'd want to address that. Let us know what are some of the challenges you faced during the time of trying to keep up the GPA. Sometimes life hits us and it's hard to keep up with everything perfectly when that happens. So we understand that and address that. If you're at the 3.0 or above, no need to address anything. Just tell us why this program and the future goals with getting your degree. Then you have your FAFSA to help you pay for school. We have payment options that you can go into with contact from our student services department. They can get you in a payment plan. You can do a FAFSA, see what offers come back, and we also have really great in-house grants and scholarships that you might possibly qualify for that you can try to apply for. So next steps. Spring application deadline. So spring starts January 11th of 2026. So you always have two deadlines. First deadline would be November 9th, and that's not just to get the application in, but to get all of the documents that I just listed along with your application. If you can't get it in by the 9th, then we have another one That's the final deadline to have everything in totally in by the December 14th deadline. Um, so once everything's here, we complete your file, we get you an admissions decision that will come in an email. Tom's information is here if you have questions about anything in particular that he can answer for you. You're welcome to email. I also have an email and I'm happy to provide that. I'll actually check the chat. But I want to thank you all for coming and for taking part in this. We are more than happy to provide all the information that you're looking for. We're coming out of time here, and just thank you all for joining us and giving us the ability to be able to tell you all we can about the programs. The psychology is wonderful. It's one of my favorites. I was telling Tom, but let us know. You have our contact. Let us know. Go on. Have a great day today. Tom, thank you so much. Did you want to say anything else?
Yeah, just, thank you everybody. I really appreciate people that are considering pursuing higher education, especially, given the
Absolutely.
complexities of the world that we live in today. Think of
Yeah,
me as a resource. Don't hesitate to reach out. Happy to answer questions by email. Happy to get on the phone if that's helpful. Think of me as a resource, and I hope we see you all here at the Psych Department at Golden Gate. Have a good rest of your day.